One of the more difficult concepts with the WordPress text editor, I find, is headings. People don't fully understand what they're for and what they're about. Now, initially people run into headings here where they look on this drop-down menu and they go, oh, this is what I need, bigger, bolder text. That's what I want. So they click this, they go like that, and then they go, wait a minute, I didn't want the whole paragraph. I just wanted to highlight some of the text. So let's remove that for a moment. What they're not understanding is that this works on the entire paragraph. If it's just a piece of text you want highlighted, then you need to do this. You need to create a separate paragraph for it, and then you can work on it with this. However, even at this point, you have to stop and say to yourself, what am I actually doing here? When I say heading 1, what am I actually doing? I'm not just bolding it and making it bigger. Look at in HTML. You're actually putting on a tag called H1. Now there's a whole series of H tags, H1, H2, H3, H4, and their purpose is to say this is more important than that. H1 is more important than H2, H2 is more important than H3. It's semantic meaning. So you need to understand that when you visually do this, you're actually telling not just visitors but search engines as well that what follows this heading is extremely important. Now, really on your page, this should be your most important title on the page, your page title. So what we want to do here is start to look at how to use headings in our actual text. If you just want to bold this, then you should be bolding it, right? Highlighting the text and then hitting bold. That actually works on text, not on paragraphs. Okay. And if you actually need larger text, then you either need to add a plugin that includes formatting for larger font size, or work with your style sheets. Okay. But headings are a totally separate entity. Headings are for doing the following. Now this sample post is a very, very long one. Okay. Now you should first of all ask yourself, do I need this long a post, or should I maybe break this material up into a couple of posts? If you do need it this long, and it's all one topic, then what you want to use are headings to break things up. So for example, this is where I want to break things up. So I'm going to put this as my first main heading. Okay. Now I don't have to highlight all of this. As long as I've got my cursor in there, I just switch this to H2, let's say. First main heading. Then I go through here. Now I've got, let's say I've got a subheading that's related to this, but isn't quite as important. So I give it an H3. Okay. Let's update this. And we'll take a look at what this comes out as. So we've got this mass of text right now. And that can be a bit daunting for your visitor. And also, they're not quite sure what each section is about. Or are there sections? They don't know. So let's refresh. And now, I've got, oh, there's my first main heading. And there's my subheading. So I see a relationship between these two. That's the purpose of headings, is to break things up. Not simply to give you bolding. If you want bold, then use bold, right? But if it's meant to be an actual heading, then it needs to be its own separate paragraph, and you give it its heading. So those are some tips on how you actually make use of the heading tags.